In the last 14 months, 5 farmers took their own lives in Arkansas. 5 families, 5 funerals, 5 sixth-generation farms that will never see a 7th. And if you eat food, this is about to change your life. Because right now, 1 in 3 Arkansas farms is facing bankruptcy. That's not a prediction, it's already happening. But here's what makes this different from every other farming crisis you've heard about. These farmers aren't failing because they're bad at farming. They're failing because the math literally doesn't work anymore, and it never will again. Most people think farmers are struggling because of bad luck, maybe a drought, maybe poor business decisions, maybe they just need to work harder or be smarter with their money. That's the story you've been told. That's what everyone believes. But Derek Hagewood, a farmer from Independence County, will tell you the truth. This time last year, rice prices were 40% higher. Fertilizer costs have gone up. Commodity prices have gotten worse. After a horrible year where most Delta farmers lost money, this year is going to be worse. These aren't small-time operations. Arkansas leads the nation in rice production. It's a top producer for cotton, soybeans, and poultry. These are multi-generational farms that have survived the Dust Bowl, the 1980s farm crisis, floods, droughts, and recessions. They know how to farm. They know how to budget. They know how to survive hard times. But for the first time in 25 years, according to Paul McAnally, a market president who's been financing crops for 2.5 decades, there is no workable budget for row crops in Arkansas. Not a tight budget, not a risky budget. No, workable budget. You can't cut your way to profitability. You can't work harder. You can't pray for better weather. The equation is broken. Let me show you exactly how fast this is moving. In the first quarter of 2024, 45 farms nationwide filed for Chapter 12 bankruptcy. That's the special bankruptcy designed specifically for farmers to restructure debt and stay in business. In the first quarter of 2025, 88 farms filed. That's nearly double in just 3 months. Arkansas alone recorded 15 Chapter 12 filings between April 2024 and March 2025. That's the highest it's been in nearly a decade. But here's the part that should terrify you. Chapter 12 only applies if your debt is under $12.5 million. If your debt is higher, or if you're beyond saving, you file Chapter 7. That's full liquidation. The farm disappears. Everything gets sold. Arkansas has had more than 60 farm auctions since December alone. 60 families watching their legacy sold piece by piece to the highest bidder. And remember, Arkansas accounts for 25% of farm bankruptcies in the entire country every year. When Arkansas farms collapse, the national food supply follows. But the bankruptcy numbers? They don't tell you the worst part. According to the CDC, farmers die by suicide 3.5 times the rate of the general population. Multiple studies show it's between 2 to 5 times higher than everyone else. Rural isolation, easy access to firearms, a culture that sees asking for help as weakness, financial stress so crushing you can't sleep at night because the nightmares about losing the farm are worse than staying awake. Sidney Robinette, an Arkansas rice farmer, said, "It's sometimes better to be awake than to sleep at night, because when I'm awake, I can think about today. The bad dreams happen at night. The bad dreams are going out of business. The bad dreams are the uncertainty." And it's getting worse, fast. The Iowa Concern Hotline, where farmers call during crisis, saw 4 to 5 times the normal volume this fall compared to last year. 4 to 5 times. The Farm Aid Hotline reports they're no longer getting calls from beginners who don't know the system. They're getting calls from established farmers, people who've been doing this for 40 years, who are running into problems for the first time that they cannot solve. At a farm equipment financing company in Arkansas, one man stood up at a meeting and said this, "In the last 14 months, 5 of my customers have committed suicide. That's how serious this is." this isn't just about farm economics anymore. This is about human survival. Sixth-generation farmer from Newport, Arkansas, said his son will not be the seventh generation. That bloodline, that 150-year commitment to feeding America, ends with him. And Congress? They passed a bill to help, but there's a problem. Congress passed the One Big Beautiful Bill Act earlier this year. It includes updated farm safety nets and payments designed to help farmers stay afloat. The problem, the money doesn't arrive until fall 2026. Right now, it's December 2025. Farmers are trying to figure out how to make it through spring planting in 2026. That's when you need money for seed, fertilizer, fuel, equipment repairs. That's when banks decide if they'll give you an operating loan. If you can't make it to spring planting, the federal payment that arrives in fall 2026 is worthless. You're already out of business. Kirk Van Sant, Chief Agricultural Lending Officer at Farmers and Merchants Bank, told Arkansas legislators, if something is not done very quickly and substantially, people are going to make decisions that they can't change back. And when farms fail, the entire rural economy collapses with them. The equipment dealers, the seed suppliers, the small-town banks, the gas stations, the cafes, the schools lose students because families move away. Joe Menser, president of the Agricultural Council of Arkansas, says the ag sector is projected to lose $1.4 billion this season. And after the farms fail, the community banks will fail next, then the ag equipment stores, then everything else. Some projections say that 25 to 40% of Arkansas farmers will quit after this season if nothing changes. That's 10,000 farms gone in 1 year. So here's what we know. Arkansas farmers are filing for bankruptcy at double the rate of last year. Farmer suicide is 3.5 times higher than the general population and accelerating. Federal aid exists, but won't arrive in time to save the farms that need it most. And when 1 in 3 Arkansas farms closes next year, you'll see it at the grocery store. Rice shortages, cotton shortages, soybean prices skyrocket. Because Arkansas doesn't just grow food for Arkansas, it grows food for the world. But the human cost is worse. Families that survived the Civil War, the Great Depression, and every agricultural crisis since will end, not because they weren't good enough, but because the math doesn't work. At a recent farmer meeting, one man stood to pray. Farmers, dear Lord, they're closer to you than anyone else because we deal with your earth every day. We're hurting, dear Lord. We can't help what happened to us. We need help. If you or someone you know needs help, 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. 1 in 3 farms will close in 2026 without emergency aid. The clock is ticking, and for thousands of Arkansas families, time just ran out.